Okay, all right, everyone. Good evening, guys. Please, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So, please, I will have everyone. Please help us to switch off your mic. Please help us turn off your mic. If your mic is currently on, please take it off. Thank you very much. So, this is Google Meet, and they actually have a time limit. So, we have just 1 hour to use with this meeting. So, I hope we don't even exceed that time. Okay, so we'll be starting immediately because we have a limited time. I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Ismail Abdulmatin Ayobami. I'm a front-end developer and also I'm a web designer as well. So I'm also the CEO and a tutor at Almattech Academy. So I tutor front-end development and web design. Though that's just for my own introduction. And also this class, I'm introducing us to the class. It is actually a free class organized for many reasons. So I will be talking about that also as we move on. So first of all, before we go further, I want to ask some questions. So, but I don't really need an answer for the question, but I just want us to know some questions that actually give birth to this program. So sometimes you'll be wondering why a lot of people actually have certificates, but they find it very hard to get a living or things like that. It's because in this world we are, especially in the country we find ourselves. So Nigeria as a country, our economy is not so good. Yeah. So it's very necessary for us as citizens of Nigeria to find alternative ways to actually source for ourselves. So we know one of the things is by getting a skill. As we know, if you have a skill, it's different from when you have a certificate. Certificates require people to employ you. But when you have a skill, it is like you have your own company in your hands. You get. So that's one of the reasons why we're actually organizing this course, so that we can actually introduce people to some of the skills they can do to actually make money in this world currently. And as we know that this world we are now is like a digital world, which I think they call it the jet age or something, whereby we are going technology. So everything we are doing with the technology, you see a lot of innovation, a lot of advancement in the field of technology, which means that if you think you shouldn't go into tech, then probably you are still missing out. So that's just for the introduction aspect. And as I said, I don't want us to waste a lot of time on this. So basically, I will just go straight to the point. So first of all, what is web development? And I think I'm going to be sharing my screen. I think I should share my screen with you guys. So I have a PowerPoint I've prepared for us. So all right, sorry. So I'll just open up the PowerPoint and okay. So let me just present everything now. Alright, so you can see what we have here. We have a 1 week free front-end development class, a practical introductory class on front-end development. So what is front-end development? It is a field in web development that deals with how to create websites from scratch. You know websites already, so but some of us might not really know websites a lot, but websites are one of the things that we use on a daily basis. There's no one that will say he hasn't used the website today. And even fun fact is that the page you registered for this class is also a website. You get. So websites are they are like a place where domains and resources are hosted, such that you can go over there and get something you want to do. So a lot of websites are popular today. We have Google, we have a lot of websites, even all this Facebook, everything. So we have websites and we have web apps. Alright, so that's just for the about website. So front-end development is the aspect of web dev that deals with how to create the visible part of websites, which means that everything we see on websites that you can see physically on a website, they were built by front-end developers. We also have other aspects of web development like the back-end development. We also have like the UI UX, people that do the designs, and other aspects as well. So we have other aspects of tech also. Aspect of text like machine learning, AI, and many more. A lot of them. We have so many aspects in technology that is what's going into. You get. So that's just for the introductory part of it. So this class is going to be taking us through front-end development from scratch. So it is a 1 week class. So we're having 7 days in the class where we'll be taking us through how to start our own career in web development, so that we can actually also start creating websites from scratch. Okay, so I'll be going to the next page. So I've prepared them such that we have 7 slides or 8 slides apart from the first one. So for each of the days we'll be having 1 slide. So these are the things we'll be touching today. So the first part is what The topic for the first one is kickoff and intro to HTML. So we've actually done this already. So for the first part, which is the welcome, orientation, and sorry for that. So we'll be taking the welcome, orientation, and tools needed. As I actually already sent some things to the group earlier. So those are the softwares we actually need to download in order to start our software development journey. So for the people that are using Windows, Windows, iOS, and other things as well, MacBook and the like. So I sent VS Code. So we are using, if you go to the link I sent to the group, and I think everyone should have downloaded that already. So I hope everyone has done that already. So on the download page, you can choose your operating system. So for the Windows guys, you can download your Windows, and for the MacBook guys too, you can do the same. And those are actually using Android, so you are also not left out. Even people that are using iOS, like not the laptop, so the iOS versions of phones. So you are actually also not left out. I've sent a version, a software you can use to code on your Android, and the one you can use for your iOS as well. So I've sent that already. So I'll also be taking us through how to set these softwares up. So it's actually very, very necessary for us to know how to use these softwares too. So first of all, this is the slide. So I'll just be let me take us to my own page. So this is actually my own page, and the first thing we'll be doing is that we want to start coding on our VS Code. So I've downloaded VS Code for the laptop guys. So I've downloaded my VS Code already. So it's actually on my screen. You can see I have two of them. So anyone you downloaded, I'm sure you have downloaded this one with a blue icon. So first of all, you need to create a folder. So we'll be starting with creating a folder. So create a folder. So let's say I want to name it HTML code or something like that. Okay, so after creating the folder, then while installing the VS Code, you would have seen some pop-ups like, do you want to make it able to open folders? I hope you selected that. And if you didn't do that as well, so you need to probably reinstall VS Code, or better still, the other ways to do that, you get. So just right click on this folder, and you see open with code. So go to your desktop and you open with code and click on it. So I have two VS Codes, so I'll be using this VS Code insider. You can use the one you downloaded. And okay, so for this now, this is actually already open, and I'll tell us about all these things we have here and what they are actually all used for. So first of all, we have this file explorer. Look at this part. I think it's not big enough. Let me see if I can zoom in. Yeah, I think you can see it better this way. So I can actually also make it big enough. So you can see this is the folder I opened here. It's an empty folder. There's nothing inside. This is the file explorer, where you can open your folder and the files inside the folder. Then apart from this, we also have this search bar as well. But before we go into that, let us touch this part. Look at this icon you see here, this first icon that has a plus and a file. So this is the new file. If you click on this new file, you will see this pop up, this input box to enter your file name. So let's say for example you want to create a file named index.html. You just need to enter index.html and click on enter. Someone is reading an and okay. I'm coming.
Sorry, I can't see your screen.
You can't see my screen.
I can't see the screen.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not from your end? Because I have the phone I'm using to also view it, so I'm showing on the phone. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Number.
Oh,
you
is it only me?
You can't click. Number.
And please, as I join, please let's mute our microphones. Please let's mute our microphones. Okay, so no problem. We'll just continue. So as I said, we have this to create a new file, and I've done that already. Please, if your mic is open, please help us mute your mic. Thank you very much. So this for the create a new file. We have create a folder as well. So if you want to create a folder inside this folder, you can also do this as well. So you see we've created a file in this place. If you go to your desktop, if you go to the folder, look at the folder over here. If you open the folder now, you are going to see that we already have a new file inside this folder. You know it was an empty folder before, but now we have a new file, index.html. So that's just basically how everything works. So going back to the VS Code, We have the create a folder, we have refresh, explorer. Sorry, can you see my screen now? Hello guys, can you see my screen?
No. Can't
Okay,
see.
let me stop and share again. It could be a technical error actually. Okay, how about now? Can you see my screen now? So I think it's going. Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. So let's just continue from where we stopped. So this is for the refresh. Can you still see the screen? I think it has gone off again. I don't know what is wrong. Okay, yeah, it's back. Okay, so let's just make it as fast as possible because we don't really have a lot of time, and we have these collapse folders as well. So let's just leave this part. We have this search feature as well. If you want to search for something in your code, so you can just click on it to search. You can also replace. So we won't really be going into much in this part. Look at this source control. We won't even touch this at all. Look at this run and debug. These are advanced parts. So, and for extensions as well, come to this extensions folder. So you will see a lot of extensions that you actually have installed already. So you need to install them as well. So I will send a list of extensions to install. I will send them after this class. So you can actually also do that on your own end as well. And you have this React. So this is also for later. So let's come back to this place here. So this is index.html. So that is for those that are using laptops. So for those using devices like Android or iOS, I think there's an issue with internet coming. Hello guys, please, I'm very sorry for what happened. It was a network issue from my end, so I've actually resolved that. So thank you very much for waiting. So we'll be continuing from where we stopped. Let me share my screen first. So I've shown us how to set up our VS Code for people using desktop. So we're actually also using MacBook and the like, so similar process. But if you're making use of an Android phone, I think in order not to waste our time, I'll be sending a video on how to do that to the WhatsApp group. I think that would actually be better, so that will not waste enough of our time. So that is actually how to set up everything. So as I said, we created the file here, the index.html file. So this file is the file where we write our HTML codes. So if you want to write a CSS code, for example, you have a .css. If you want to write for JavaScript, you have .js. So every file has its own extension. Like every programming language has its own extension. For HTML, it is .html. So let me go back to our slide so that we can see the things I said we'll be touching today. So first of all, we have the welcome address, the orientation, the tools needed. So the first thing we will be needing is the software, which I've shown us how to install. So for the VS Code, that is it. And if you are using something else, you can use a different editor. Yes, it's very much possible. We have a lot of them, Notepad++, a lot of them. So just use the one that you seem to feel comfortable with. So that is for the software. And also, I made mention of something on the group that you should try to get a note to jot down things. This is actually very, very important. So it's not about learning. You need to learn and practice. Yes, practice makes you perfect. So that's just for that part of it. And also punctuality. Please, let's try to be punctual during the classes. It's very, very important. So that's just for the first part of today's agenda. So we've taken the second part as well. I've taken us through what is front-end development. Then for the structure of the web page, yes, structure of the web page. Every web page consists of HTML codes and several other codes from different programming languages. So when you say website, you can just go. Let me just try to show something. If you go to any website today, let me just take us to one popular website. Let's say Jumia.com as an example. So I want to show us something. For every website you see, they all have HTML codes in them. If you want to see the codes which this website was built with, I mean the HTML and CSS and JavaScript code, which is basically the front end of the website. You can see the code even from your own desktop like this. So you just need to click on Ctrl Shift and C. So click on these key combinations on your system, Ctrl Shift C, and just close this and come under the elements. So you can see codes, a lot of codes. See different kinds of codes you are seeing on this page. So these are the codes that are working to make this page as it is. So every section of the website has its own codes. You can see. So don't worry if you are feeling anxious and nervous. Don't worry, we are actually going to get into how to do something like this as well. So let me just go back to our VS Code. So after we've touched this part as well, what else again? We have the HTML basics. So we have tags, we have headings, links, and images, and several other tags. So when we talk of tags in HTML, they are like the building block of every HTML element. This is still getting complex, so I'll just try to break everything down. Let me go back to my VS Code. Inside our HTML file that we have here, which is open already, the first thing you need to do before you can start writing code, you need to set up the structure of your particular HTML page. So there's a particular shortcut we usually use, which is the Shift and Shift 1. So click on Shift and click on 1. So you see this exclamation mark symbol of a thing. Then when you see these drop downs and these options, just click on Enter and you'll be getting this structure. You can actually also write this down one by one from scratch. It's possible, but to make it faster, so we'll make use of the shortcut. So this is just for the first part. And let me try to explain everything we have here. This doc type HTML, it is the documentation declaration type for HTML to tell the browser that everything that comes after this particular stuff is HTML codes. Then we have the HTML element itself. So we have elements and we have tags. So elements are, for example, HTML is an element, head is an element, body is an element. So elements are kind of like the building block of each content you see on the website. If you see an heading, for example, it is placed inside the heading element. If you see a paragraph or a random text, it is placed inside the paragraph element. If you see an image, it is placed inside the image element. So we have various elements in HTML. So we also have tags as well. So tags are like components inside an element. So we have opening tag and closing tag. So for the opening tag, they are the first thing you see before the content, and the closing tag comes after the content. For example, so what we have here now, we have the heading element as an element. So it has the opening tag for the head and the closing tag for the head as well. Then inside it we have content. So this content can be several other elements as well. and it can also be several other kind of text. So this is still semi-complex, you get. So but don't worry, as we're going further, you'll be getting things better. So on this page now, you have the HTML element, which contains everything inside. So you can see this is the opening tag for the HTML element, and this is the closing tag for the HTML element. So you also have the same thing for the head element as well. This is the opening tag for the head element and the closing tag for the head element. Then you have the body, which seems empty for now. So in this body element, it is where you put every visible thing on your website. So anything you can see on the website is placed inside the body element. So you can place your headings, your paragraphs, your images, your tables, your links, and every other thing. You can put them inside the body element. So the body element is one very, very important part of every website. So the first thing we're touching is the heading tag or the heading element. So let's say you want to put an heading on your website. How do you put an heading on it? So before I even go into that, I want to show you something. If you want to view the output of your code on, let's say for example, you want to view the output on the browser, like you want to preview. So how do you actually do that? So there is one extension I'm going to show us how to use. So it is called the live server. So come to this extension tab in your editor and click on the type live server. So for we that are actually making use of our Android phones or our iPhones, so I'm going to send a video after this class. Please don't be annoyed for that. So I'll send a video after this class. So I will show us how to use the various devices to do this as well. So you see the live server, you can just click on it to open it, and you need to install it. So I've installed mine already, so I don't have the install, so I can uninstall it. So but you need to make sure you install one of them. So you can see it looks something like this. You click on install. So after you install the live server, you can view anything on your so you can view anything you code, you can see it on your browser. So how do you now open the live server to view your code? You right click on any place on this HTML code. Just click on your right mouse and you look for open with live server. You can see this open with live server. You click on the open with live server. So it's going to open up our browser. So it's going to open up the browser, which is your default browser. So you can see what we have here. You see starting. So it is going to take a little bit of time to do that for us. So now that we'll be able to see the result of our code after the live server is open. So that's just for the first part. So as I said, if you want to create an heading on your website, for example, so how do you do that now? So we have the head elements. So the head element, okay, you can see it has opened up already. So you can see the URL. Everything is still empty because our page has nothing on it currently. So I will just I will be resizing my browser tab, and I'll be resizing my VS Code too. So this is actually how I do tell students to do their browser. So anything you are actually coding here, you can always see the result on this page. You get. So it makes your coding kind of like easier and faster. So I think this meeting that should be 1 minute, probably that is 1 hour. Probably after this meeting ends, I will send a new link to us so we can actually join through that link. So when it's time, I will actually send that to us. I'm also trying to watch the time from my end. So now, as I said, if you want to create headings in HTML, we have several elements we use for headings, and they are of different categories. So if you want to create an heading, which is the biggest heading on the website, so you use the H1. If you want to create the one that is a little bit smaller than it, you use the H2. So we have from H1 to H6 to state different types of headings, and they all have their uses. For example, if you want to show the most important text in the website, which is like the primary heading, you make it of your H1. So how do we actually do that now? As I said, if you want to create an element, you start with the opening tag and the closing tag. So for the opening tag now, you start with this less than symbol. Then you put the name of the tag. So for the H1, the name of the tag is H1. Then you write your greater than symbol. So you can see autocomplete has made everything, has completed the code for me. But how it is done is that after you write your H1, so you put your text, probably your random text inside, and you need to write the closing tag as well. So for the closing tag, you write the less than again, but right now you put a backslash or you put a forward slash first. So this is a forward slash. You can see autocomplete again. So just write your H1 to complete the whole code. So for the opening tag, you have this you have the tag name embedded inside angle brackets. So they are called angle bracket, the less than and the greater than. Then for the closing tag, you have them in the same format, but you have a less than, you have the forward slash immediately after the less than symbol. You get. So that's just how to do that. As you can see, as I finished writing my code, it was displaying on this page already, like automatically. So that's the essence of the live server. You can also view your code without using live server, but it will not automatically update your code as you are updating the code. You get. It will not update your browser. So that's just for the H1. We have other ones, aside we have H1 to H6. So this is for the H1. So for the H2, I'll come to the next line. So I'm trying to see if it's very clear. So I think it's clear enough. So please, if you have any question, you can always put them in the chat box. Please put them in the chat box. So when we are done, we'll be able to take the questions. So for the second heading, which is H2. So let me just take us to some other shortcuts. Instead of writing the less than, you write H2 and do the like. So you can actually also use shortcuts. If you write the name of the tag like H2, it is going to give you suggestions. So whenever you see this banner icon, so it means it is a suggestion. Then you click on enter, and it's going to complete the whole code for you. So that's for the second section of the heading. I think I should just put something that makes sense in this place. So let's say we have heading 1, for example, which is the first heading. So we can see everything has reloaded and has changed the output. So for the H2, which is heading 2, I'll just come over here and put heading 2. So it is going to update on the page as well. So you can see this heading 1 is bigger than the heading 2. So the same thing for heading 3 as well. So H3. So just need to come over and have our heading 3. So till we get to H6, we'll be getting something. So we'll be getting something smaller till we get to the last one, which is H6. So I don't want to waste our time at all on this heading. So let's have the heading 6. So which is the smallest heading we have in HTML. See how small it is compared to the H1. So that's for the heading. We have other elements too that we actually make use of that we also need to probably that we also need to learn. So let's leave the H1 to H6 for now. So take note of the heading. The first heading is H1, which is the biggest heading. If you want to have like subtopics, you can make it of H2. If you want to have like subtopics, then H3, H4 you get. So that's how we use headings. So that's for the first part. Then we have other elements too. So elements are not limited to just headings. So you also have paragraphs, we have images and other ones as well. So I think the ones we'll be taking today. So we've taken the headings already. Oh, sorry. So we've taken headings already. So we've taken tags already. So tags are the basic blocks for the headings. Okay. So we're taking the links as well. Or let me take paragraphs first. So let's take paragraphs first. So let me just go back to and let me open up my live server. So we have other elements too, as I said. So if you want to write a paragraph, just a random text without putting it in an heading form. Because look at these headings, you see all of them are actually very bold. Their thickness is not just normal text. So it's because they are headings and they are expected to be bold. So if you want to write normal text like paragraphs, so how do you make sure you do that? So you use the P element, the paragraph element, it has the P tag. So you can also just click on P. As I said earlier, you can make use of P. And you can just choose to even write from scratch as well, write your P and everything. But you can actually also do the same thing by clicking on P and click on enter when you see that spanner icon. So for the paragraph, it is a normal text. Let's say this is a normal text. So you can see it will be different from the remaining text. Look at this. So look what it looks like. It is a text that is not as bold as the headings because a paragraph is not meant to be bold. You get. So that's just for the paragraph tag. So you can mix the paragraph tag, not just for paragraphs. If you want to put text in any place on your website, you can mix up the paragraph. If you want to put just anything you want to use your text for, so you can use a paragraph tag. But the H1 to H6, they are limited to headings and titles. So that's just for the first part. And we have other elements we make use of, a lot of them basically. So let's take this one again, the anchor element, which is the links element. So let's say you've seen a website that has a link, that when you click on the link, it will take you to a new page or a different website and likes. So how do you actually do that as well in HTML? So it's also very, very simple to do. So we make use of the anchor element. So the anchor element has the tag A. So I hope you are trying to note something. Let me just give us the syntax for all these pages I'm talking about. Sorry, for all these elements. So you have the less than first, then you have the tag name. Let me give it in capital letter. So you have the tag name, then you have the greater than, and you have the content inside. So this is just basically the syntax for every website. Don't mind the reason why it's showing you. It's not a valid tag. But HTML is something that even if you use something wrong as a tag, it's going to give you a result in form of a paragraph. So it's going to take you to the default element. So the tag name will be in between the opening and closing angle brackets, and you have the content, and you have the greater than, and everything like that again. So that's just the syntax for HTML. So now, if you want to write the anchor element, as I said, so let's say we want to have a link that we click on the link, it will take us to google.com, for example. So how do we actually do that? So it's very, very simple to do. You just need to come over and create the anchor element. You can also choose to write your A, as I said earlier, that A is the tag name. You can use A, and you can also choose to start writing from scratch as well. So, but I prefer that you actually just write the A itself, then you click on enter, so you'll be able to get some other attributes. So we also have other things we call attributes. So attributes are not elements, they are not tags as well, but they are used together with elements and tags to add further description to them. For example, if you want to use a link now, for example, you want a link to take you to a different website. So how do you actually do that now? You need to add attributes. It's not just about saying let's say go to Google, for example. So we say go to Google, so you can see what we actually have here. Let me try to just bring this a little bit. Okay, so you have go to Google. So even without putting any location, you can see we have it in form of this link, and you click on it now, nothing happens. It just reloads the page because there's no location set to it. So how do we add the location of the place we want to go to? So that's why we have this href of the thing. So the href is used. If you over all these attributes, you can see we have some details, contains a URL fragment, blah blah blah. So just try to read through these things. But basically the href is used to add the location that you are trying to access. So if you want to go to google.com, you need to come and put the location of the URL inside this double quote that we see here. So the syntax is also simple. So you just have the href equal to just something like, when you have something like this, href then equal to, so the href is actually the location of the page you want to go to from your previous page, you get. So let me just take this away. So now let's say we want to go to google.com, for example. Let me show us something. So let's say google.com, okay, google.com. So I just want to copy the link. You can see I can just copy everything, Ctrl+C, and you just need to come and paste. Let me just put it back. So you need to come back to this href, and again, when you talk of attributes are placed inside the opening tag of the particular element. So I hope you understand that this first part is the opening tag of our anchor element. This first part that we see here. So the attribute is placed before the greater than symbol of the opening tag. So let's not make the mistake of putting it inside this place. So it is not correct in this manner. Rather, it is inside the opening tag itself before we have the greater than symbol, you get. So inside the double quotes, we are going to put the link we want to access, then just Ctrl+V and paste everything. So you can see now very clearly we have the href equal to google.com and everything. And you see that if you click on this google.com now, it's going to take us to the google.com. So if you click on it, so let's click on it and let's see it load. Someone raised his hand, so you can see it has taken us to this page already. So you can see that just basically how easy it is to create an anchor element. So someone raised his hand. Is there any issue? Unmute your mic, please.
Yes, sir. We can hear you very well, sir.
You can't hear me very well. I don't know the. What of now? Can you hear me very well now? I think it could be because of the background noise, but the noise is.
Yeah, I think it's better.
Alright, thank you very much.
I think it's better.
So I'm not even seeing it at all.
You're not seeing it. Wow.
Yes.
I think it should be showing now. Can you see it now?
Yes, you can see it.
Okay, please don't be annoyed. I think it's the network issue. As I said, I also have my phone with me, so I'm using my phone to check. So in case there's any issue, I'll quickly notice. But it's going well on my phone right now. So I don't know, probably the problem might be coming from your end. Alright, no problem. So let's just continue. So that's just for the opening, for the anchor element that's taking us to this page. So if you want to go back to the previous page, remember, just use this to go back to the previous page. Sorry, can you still see my screen? Okay, I think it's showing now.
It's showing.
Look at this text I put inside this place. Just go to Google. So it is the text that the user will see on the page that he would click on. So you can put anything on the page. So let's say you want to go to Facebook, for example. Just change this to so let's say go to Facebook. So we need to change this to the URL of Facebook. So that's going to be www.facebook facebook.com. So if you click on this text, so it's going to take you to this URL we have here. So that's just basic syntax. So you click on it now. I don't want you to, okay, let's just click on it. So it's going to take us to Facebook, and you see what it looks like. So it's taking us to go to Facebook.com. So that's just for the anchor element as well. Let me just go back. Let's not waste our time. So that's for the anchor elements. We have several other elements, and I will be sending a document at the end of this session, so we can see several other elements we can actually practice with. So we also have an element we call the if you want to create lists, yes, if you want to create lists in HTML, so how do you do that? So let's say you want to have a list of items, so how do you make use of that? So we have an element to make use of that. So we have the list element, but there are two kinds of lists. We have the ordered list and the unordered list. So for the ordered list, it is denoted by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the list marker, and for the unordered list, denoted by probably a circle, a rectangle, and other objects or other shapes. So let me just do that as soon as possible. So for the list item now, if you want to create a list, so let's start with the ordered list, for example. So ordered list has the tag name of OL. Just type OL and you see this already. So look at this that I've seen already. So after typing the OL, then click on enter, and you've created the ordered list already. So, and the ordered list has some children elements. You know, this is just for the container. So ordered list is the container for all the list elements. So how do you now make use of this to start creating our list? So let's say we want to create an item, a list item of, let's say something like stationaries, for example. So let's say stationaries as an example, which is going to be the heading. Then for the list items, we want to list like 4 stationaries. So the list item is also an element on its own, but it's a child element to the ordered list element. So we have our li inside the ol. So click on that as well. So you can see we already have one, even without having something inside. We already have a one. So let's say for example we want to list our pen. So let's list our pen. So it is now listing pen as a child to this ol. So this is just the syntax, very, very simple as well. So you can also create other list items as well. So let's come below it and have another li, which is the list item. So let's say we want to have book, for example. So you can see we have number 2 as book. So it is ordered list because it is ordered in terms of numbering. So it has 1, 2, 3. You can also change this to ABC, I. You can change it to anything, but this is actually something that you also need to learn later. So let me just add one more to it. So let's say a ruler, for example. So you can see everything is showing up. So let me just take us through a quick recap. The OL is the parent container for the list. So this is the opening tag for the OL, which is the ordered list, and this is the closing tag for the ordered list as well. So but we actually also now have other things like the li, which are the children elements to this OL, where you can put individual list items inside, and this one also has its own opening tag and closing tag as well. So just take note of that. So that is for the ordered list, which is OL. So we have the unordered list as well. So that is UL, not OL. So UL is unordered list. So it has the same syntax as the ordered list actually, but the only difference is in that the marker are not 1, 2, 3. So this is what I'm trying to say. So for the unordered list, we have a UL. So you write the UL and click on enter. So when you click on the enter, then you also need to come down and write the children element. So I can actually also just come over here and copy all these things we have here, because you see the same syntax. It also has individual list items. So let me just paste this. So you can see we now have the other list setup as well. But look at the difference. It's actually very, very clear now. Let me try to increase this. Yeah. So you can see why is this showing here? So you can see we have the ordered list, which has 1, 2, 3, and the unordered list also has the same list items but with a different item marker. So that's the only difference we have between ordered and unordered list. So you can also add more list items to these things as well. So the one we'll be taking one more HTML element now, which is the image element. So if you want to add images, so I think it's actually part of the things we listed that we'll be touching today. Yeah, we'll be taking images as well. So we've taken headings, we've taken links. So let's take image as well. So let's say you have an image. You see most websites you see today, they always have images in them. So how do you actually also add images to our own website and make use of images? So it's very, very simple. Image also has its own elements which we make use of. But the image element is different in terms of opening and closing tag. So when we talk of things in even not even only in programming, so we always have exceptions in some situations. So when we talk of opening and closing tag for elements, when it comes to some elements, they are not like that. They have only opening tag, don't have closing tag. An example is this image element. So we call them empty elements because they don't have any content in them, in sense of having a content between opening and closing tags. You get? So let me just take us through what I mean by that. If you want to create the image, so it is the img tag, img. So just type img. So I think this suggestion I'm getting here, you might not get it on your own end if probably you don't have the extensions installed. I don't know if I have an extension that actually has to do that. Let me just check. Is it a suggestion extension or that? I don't really know. I've forgotten how I set up back then. Or is this snippets? I think it's something snippets. Just look for HTML snippet. But don't worry, I will send the list after this class. I will send the list. I think I have something like that. What is not really the concern? I will send the list of extensions to download after this class. So after writing your img, then write the img, then you see this suggestion. Use it. So just click on enter. So you can see what I was saying about attributes. So empty elements, they do not have any content inside them. Empty element do not have something like a closing tag like img or something like this. So this is not so this is not possible, this is not correct in HTML for you to have a closing tag for an image. So because it's an empty element, not just any type of element. So empty elements don't have closing tags and they don't have content inside them like this. So this is not correct for empty elements, but rather they have attributes inside them that make it possible for us to do some things with them as well. So for the attributes we have here, we have two common attributes. They are the two most common attributes for images. We also have others like the width and the height as well, but these are the most common ones. So the src is similar to the href that we have for the links, but just that the src is the location of the image, like where it is located, while the alt is the alternate text that is shown when the image is nowhere to be found. So we get this text instead. So you might have gone to a website and the image was missing and you see something like a text beside the image. I'll also show us an example of that as well. So now I'll be practicing with an image. Let me see if I have an image on my device. Okay, I think I have one of our logos. So let me just copy the image. So I would advise that you actually have a folder in your VS Code where you store the images. So you can just create a folder from this end. Look at this place, click on it and click on probably type images. So for the image, then if you want to add an image to it, you can just always import. So but I will just be copying because so I'll just copy everything. Let me go to my desktop back. So I'll be copying this image. Things are actually very much easy for us to do on systems. So I want to copy the image. So I think there should be a copy. So click on the copy, then come back to your VS Code and you can click on this and you can just paste. It's not showing up. Just Ctrl V. So you can see it as pasted already. And so this is the logo. So let me come back to our live server. So this is actually our image. So I can rename the image from this end because the name is too long and it will be very difficult for us to start typing that we might even make mistakes. So in order to avoid that, we need to rename the image. To rename an image, just right click on the image and you should look at this rename. So click on the rename and you can change the name to, let's say, my image. So let's say my image. So note the extension .jpg because all files have extensions. If it's an image, it can have .png, .jpg, .gif, and many other things as well. So this call will end in 15 minutes. So I will create a new meeting and I will send the link to the description box. So just join once this one is over. So as I said, files have extensions. So if it's an HTML file, it has a .html. If it is a CSS file, it has .css. If it is a video, it has .mp4 and .3gp and many other extensions as well. So every file has extensions. So just to manage our time, let me quickly create the new meeting because we'll actually soon be done, but I want us to, because we need to take this practical part as well. So let me just quickly create a new meeting. Sorry, I'm coming. So I'll drop the link in the chat box. So please immediately it's over. Please let's just kindly join. Let's join. So yeah, I know. Please, someone is raising up his hand. Please, do you have a question? Please, if you have a question, kindly ask the question now. So I'll be dropping the link now. Oh, sorry, you don't understand. Can you explain calmly? Uh, yeah, I'm actually trying to watch the time. Yes, because of the time, I'm trying to make everything as fast as possible. Please don't be annoyed. What's wrong? The link is not pasting. Let me copy again. Or maybe I should drop it on the group. Okay, yeah, that's done already. So please, if you have a question, you can ask right now, please. So I'll be pinning this.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not been following so far because of the internet and some reasons. So
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe if like you will maybe I don't know. Maybe there's like a
Do you mean like the recorded meeting? Yeah, those that don't have a system. So as I said at the beginning of the meeting that I will send a video on how to set your Android device and your iPhones up as well. So you can actually also use your phones to do it. So but don't be annoyed that I'm not doing that because I'm trying to watch our time. So after this meeting I'll be sending a video on how to, because I think I dropped a link to download SPCK editor for your Android phones and Coda for iPhones. So I'll look for videos for iPhone as well because I use an Android phone. So I'll be sending a video on how to set everything up. And in case you're having internet issues right now, don't worry. The meeting is recorded, so everything is going on. I'm recording the meeting currently. So yeah, I'm recording it. So by the end of the meeting, I'll be sending the link to the video, so you can actually watch in case you missed it. Uh, I think your network has issues. That's why you're having that problem. So I think I've answered all the questions we have now. So let's just continue. This meeting will be ending very soon. So when the meeting ends, please let's join. Okay. So this link I sent above is because we have just 14. Now we have 11 minutes more to use now because this is the free version of Google Meet. So there's always a restriction to the amount of time you can use. So you can only use 1 hour. So after this 1 hour now, the
this
meeting is going
kind
to
of
end.
things.
So please, I want us to join using this new link. You get? So I think I've answered that question already. So you can just copy the link, and when the meeting goes off, please let's just join using the next one. So I will also send the link to the group so you can join from the group as well. Yeah, so I think I've answered that question already. So let's just continue in order to not waste our time. So I stopped at where we have this image. So let me go back to the image. So I've shown us how to rename our image. So if you have anything you also want to change the name to, so you are free to do that. So let me just close this page. So I can also close this Explorer as well. So I'm trying to send the. Someone sent a question. I'm coming. So you said you can't see the screen sharing at all. Sorry, I think it might not really be only you, but I also have my phone with me which I'm using to test everything. So as I'm using my system to do the meeting, I'm seeing everything on my phone, so it is working fine. So I get it that it might be your device or your network connection. But don't panic, don't worry. I'm recording the session. So after this session, I'll be dropping the link to the video so you guys can watch in case you have issues with your network while the class was going on. So it might be the network from your end, yeah, because it's working fine from my end here. So I'm very sorry for that. Okay, so we've actually already. Let me quickly copy the link, and I want to paste. coming. Oh, let me just click send to myself. Okay, so let's just not waste our time at all. So let me just close this. So you can see, as I said, that if you want to create an image, so we have the SRC which we'll be using to do that. Someone raised hand again. Please, what is the problem? How can I saw that now? How can someone change the other list from 1 to 3 number to ABC? So it's actually very much possible. So to change the number from 1 to 3 ABC, as I said, that it is something that even for the other list and another list too. So there are ways to change it. If you want to change from 1 to 3 to ABC, or you want to change from what is it called? From that circle object or circle shape to probably rectangle to square, anything. So you can also do that. So I want us to do it with CSS. So when we get to CSS, I will show us how to do it. So there's a select, what is it called? There's a this CSS properties. There's CSS property which is called list style type. So you can use to change from disk to circle to square. So but that's CSS. I don't want us to touch CSS for now. So don't worry, when we get to CSS, you get everything better. So please, let's kindly be patient with that. So 8 minutes more. So for the SRC now, you come into this double quote for the SRC. So that's why we'll be having everything you want to. Yes. There is a recorded version of this class. So after this class, I'll be sharing the video link with you guys, so you can always watch back again. So you come to the SRC part of this our image elements. So you'll be having the link to that. So if you want to import a file from a parent folder, look at something now. These images and this HTML file, they are like siblings in the same folder. So but the images now have a child inside. So you want to access the child inside this folder. So how do we make sure of that? So first of all, you put your dot and write a backslash. By default, it is going to give suggestions. So you can see, click on the images and click on the my image.png or .jpg. So this is how easy it is. First of all, you have the dot written. So dot means that you want to access a colleague or a sibling to that particular file. And as you can see what we have here, the index.html file and the images folder, they are siblings. That's how you make use of the dot or of the dot. So let's say probably you want to access the parent of that exact file we are inside. So make use of the dot. So we write dot and it will take us to the parent of that particular file, which is not, it is not in this page because it is not a parent to this. So I'll just remove this. So we have it as the dot and the slash images, which is the folder that is the sibling of this file we are inside. Then we have the slash, the name of the file itself, because it is inside this place. So when you have slash something, we are trying to enter something inside something else. So that is the essence of the slash of the thing. So that is how to import our files. You can see we already have the image imported already. But look at how big it is. It has taken the whole width of the page, and it is not even aligning with the remaining content. So how do we actually do that also? So okay, before we go to that, we have this alt attribute as well. So alt attribute is used to set the name, the text that is shown probably when the image cannot be found. For example, if I try to rename this page, this image, and put 1 at the end, you know we don't have an image that is titled my image1.jpg inside the images folder that is a sibling to this particular HTML file. You can see what we have here. We don't have such on this place. So it means that the file cannot be found. So we'll be having something coming. Okay, so we won't be having anything showing up at all. So how do we now actually show a text that says that the image that's supposed to be here is an image for so. So let's say this is my image, for example, my image. This. Okay, so we've added the alternate element. So you can see what we now have here. Now we have my image. So it means that anyone that sees this broken image icon will easily know that, okay, I think there's supposed to be an image, which is my image. So you might have seen it on website, probably their logo is very big and your network is very slow. So when you load the page, it will not quickly show the page. So you now see something like my logo, or you see something like academy something. So just to show you that this is an image meant for so thing. So that's for the alt attribute. So we have 4 minutes left. Please, let's start preparing to join the next meeting. So let's say we want to change the width of this image and the height of the image. How do we actually do that? So we have the width attribute as well. So you have the width. So everything is still the same syntax. The attribute, the syntax for attribute is what width equal to. Then we have this quote. So you can actually also use single quote as well. So you can use single quote as well. You can see everything still works fine, but I prefer using double quotes. So let's say I want to set the width to, let's say 200. We put 200 there. Okay, let me rename the page back. Rename the image back to the correct image name. So you can see we now have a shorter image because we reduce the width to 200. You see how easy it is. You can also do the same thing for the height as well. So let's say we want to set the height to, let's say 300, then it becomes longer. So you can see it is too long. So let's make it a square image, which is 200. So no problem. So you can see how easy it is to do that. A quick recap: SRC equal to. Then we have a dot at first. You must always start with a dot because we are not trying to access a file inside that particular file. We are trying to access the sibling of that file. So make it of the dot and a backslash. And we have the name of the folder you want to access inside. So this is the images. So let's say, for example, probably the image is a direct child to this particular thing. So you can see that these two are now siblings. The HTML file and the image are now siblings. They are not like, it's not as if the image is in a different folder. So if you want to do this now, you need to come over here and you need to remove this folder you added. So it means that, sorry, so you can see, so it means that this image, this particular image here, and the HTML elements you are inside, or the HTML page you are inside, they are the same, they are siblings to the same parent. So that just have to do that also. So I think you should be stopping here, and I'll just take off. So you can see we have a project I added here, which is a profile web page with images and links. So this is a project for you to do. So you should just create a simple profile page that you put an image, probably your image, then you put text, probably your name, a description of yourself. You can also put a link that takes one to your Facebook account, your LinkedIn profile, and other things as well. So you shouldn't do that as well. So it's just like an assignment for us to do. I will be creating a group, like a submission group, where you can drop your submissions. I'll do that tonight as well. So I will also send the link to the group. So just do that and submit on the group, and we'll see in the next class tomorrow. So if you have other questions, since I think we don't need to even go to the next meeting again, we can just end everything here. So if you have questions, when I open the submission group, you can drop your questions as well. And for those asking if there's a recorded version, yes, I'm recording the session currently, and when I'm done with this class, I will be uploading the video to YouTube, so you can always go and watch the video on YouTube. So I'll drop the link for you guys to also watch. So I don't know if you have other questions too, so I'll be accepting your questions in the group. And please, the assignment, as I said, it is not compulsory to submit, but it is good so I can see what you've learned and how much you've improved for today. You get? So that will be the end of today's class. This is a 1 week long class, and today is just the one. The engagement we put today, please let's not relent tomorrow and the remaining days. Let's try to be punctual, let's try to be attentive, and let's also try to jot things down as we are learning. Even if we learn just one thing, let's jot it down so that we will not forget things, and so that we can actually always go back and revise and also review the things we've learned. So I think this will be everything for today's class. So you see the course is about to end. So we'll see in the next class tomorrow, and I will address the group soon. So thank you very much everybody. So we can start leaving the meeting now. Thank you very much.